Good morning everyone. So blessed Sunday po sa lahat ng nandito sa ating webinar today. I would like to thank our speaker, of course, who will be properly introduced later, the members of the IIE TCPDC, Engineer Jonathan Midalia, and the Vice President, Engineer Manny De Guzman. And of course, I would like to acknowledge our monitor from the PRCCPD Council, Engineer Joji Bautro. Again, everyone, good morning. So we are about to start our webinar. So for everyone who's here po, kindly type naman what chapter are you? Meron po ba dito from Luzon, Visayas, and of course the foreign region in the Mindanao area? Yan. Good morning, Sir Fernan Cebu. Okay. Sige po, coming in. No? Yan, to break the ice because this is Sunday and of course this is Family Day. Yan, Occidental Mindoro. Wow, ang layo. Yan. Okay, Iloilo. Parang ang dami from Visayas region. Baguio Benguet. Okay, may Luzon. Malolos. Okay, very good. Quezon. Okay, Quezon. Okay, kababayan natin yan. Okay, thank you po for chatting. No? At least nalaman ko you are in and you are listening this morning. Of course, we cannot start without welcoming you as our guest. To welcome you and to welcome everyone to this webinar, may I call on the energetic, of course, the very active, our very own Vice President of the IIEE Training and Continuing Professional Development Committee, Engineer Manny De Guzman. Sir Manny?
Morning. Morning, Ma'am Yela. Do you hear me?
Morning, sir. Yes, loud and clear.
Okay, thank you. Sorry, I have to close my video. Okay. So, good morning, everyone, to our IIEE 2022 National Leadership as headed by our National President, Engineer Feliciano Jojo Padua III, and to the IIEE 2022 National Officers and Board of Governors. To our IIE TCPDC Overseer, National VP for Technical Engineer Ramon Gatchalian, our IIEE TCPDC Chairman, Engineer Joseph Darren Claire Solicar, Sir Jodax, and to the whole IIEE TCPDC team. Special mention to our assigned IE staff, Ma'am Yela. Ladies and gentlemen, my fellow Filipino electrical engineers, good morning. So welcome to this technical webinar on the topic of technical writing for engineers. It also has a subtopic on APA requirements. So yung APA, it will be discussed later, requirements for thesis and research. So sa mga kumukuha ng kanilang technical engineering report as PE, you will get to know more about these requirements. Okay. So this webinar is brought to you by the IIE TCPDC Council for the Trainings and Continuous Professional Development Committee, IIE TCPDC, through the sharing of knowledge and technical expertise of our speaker, who will be introduced later. This non-technical training or soft skills, such as our topic, is part of the requirements of the PRCCPD Council for us engineers to be professionally developed as well-rounded engineers. So hindi lang technical, meron rin non-technical and soft skills. We hope that you will learn more and refresh your knowledge on the said topic of technical writing. For the IEE TCPDC, we also have a lot of more trainings and seminars to offer you this coming months as well. So to our members, we thank you for your patronage and continued support to our organization. Learning never ends at the IIEE TCPDC. Good morning to you all once again. Mabuhay.
Thank you so much, Sir Manny, for starting the ball rolling for today. So again, thank you very much, sir, for being on the go every time na we need someone to speak for every activities of the IIET CPDC. We really appreciate you. Maraming salamat, sir. Of course, hindi na po ako magtatagal. So I would like to introduce our speaker for today. Our speaker is having been awarded as one of the most outstanding teachers in the Philippines year 2012. Our speaker is a holder degree in secondary education, major in English, summa cum laude, wow. Master of Arts in Education in National University, and doctoral degrees, majors in Educational Management and National University, and Public Administration in the University of Bicol. Her academic stint flourished being the basic coordinator of Philippine Chen Kuang High School for 10 years. She also served as the former basic education principal in the National University, where she was also the Dean of College of Education's Arts and Sciences, and of course the Graduate School, and the Director of General Education. Apart from being an educator, academic manager, and quality assurance consultant, she is also a trendsetter. She pioneered a youth builder center that provides English proficiency training to various clienteles, specifically to Chinese and Koreans. She also co-authored various textbooks, namely Philippine History, Life and Works of Rizal, Humanities, Philosophy, English, and Education. She is a national reviewer for the licensure examination for teachers. She is engaged in different research studies which she have presented and published in scholarly journals locally and internationally. She was invited as graduate school professor in various colleges and universities located inside and outside the national capital region. Thus, she was able to successfully complete numerous researches as research supervisor to her thesis and dissertation advices completing degrees in the field of pedagogy, education, public administration, and school leadership. She is an officer of the Philippine Association for Graduate Education and also a board member of the Green Hills Heights condominium located in San Juan, Metro Manila. As the president of an accredited PRC provider, she is busy providing continuing education and review activities to different students and professionals through her center, the Center for Professional Advancement and Continuing Education, or CPACE. She is a CPD speaker for seminars and workshops of professional teachers, engineers, and other professions. In addition to this, she is currently connected as faculty in the Graduate School of the Pacific International College, Dean of the College of Teacher Education. She is also a Dean of the School of Graduate and Professional Studies. And lastly, the Vice President for Academic Affairs of Oasis Colleges, Inc. Please join me in giving the best welcome to our guest speaker, none other than Dr. Rowena R. de Guzman, EDD, PhD. Good morning, Ma'am Weng.
Hello, good morning. Good morning, everyone. Can you hear me?
Yes, Ma'am Weng, loud and clear.
Okay. May I request our organizer to please send the link that we are using now for my presentation, Ma'am Yela. I emailed an email. I sent to you my email address, the other email address. So it's cpace.training services. Kindly send the link that we are now using so that I can present my.
Yes, ma'am, it's okay na po according to our IT po. Thank you, ma'am.
All right, thank you. So first of all, I would like to greet you, naimbag na bigat in Ilocano. Magandang umaga po sa inyong lahat. Of course, in Filipino, and good morning, everyone. So, special mention, of course, to the IIEE National President, Engineer Feliciano Jojo Padua III, our IIEE National Officers who are here with us this morning, to the IIEE TCPDC Overseer, the Vice President for Technical, Engineer Ramon Gatchalian, sir. The IIEE TCPDC Committee Chairman, Engineer Joseph Darren Solicar, Sir Jodax, and of course to my husband, the reason why I am here, because he told me that you need, okay, skills, soft skills regarding technical writing, no other than the IIEE TCPDC Committee Vice Chairman Engineer Manuel de Guzman, to the IIEE TCPDC team and staff, my friends, ladies and gentlemen, a blessed Sunday morning to all. Okay, so I think they've requested me to do a replay on the topic that was presented last June. However, they told me to add a certain topic about APA, or what we call the American Psychological Association. And of course, I'll be giving you some tips on how to prepare your technical engineering report for those who will be taking their uh, PEE, of course, and for those who are taking their MA for your thesis writing, and for those who are now taking their PhD for their dissertation. Or should I say dissertation, not dissertation. I always tell that, no, to my students. Do not call it dissertation because it seems that it's very difficult paper, no, to prepare. So dissertation paper for those who are taking their PhD. Okay, so let me start my presentation. Meron na po ba, ma'am? Na-send na po ba kaya sa ating technical staff ng CPACE?
Hello, ma'am.
Okay, so thank you for that. There's no audio now. I'm requesting once again to please send the link that we are using now for our PowerPoint presentation. All right, so the first part of my talk is about technical writing for electrical engineers. Okay, so while we are waiting for the PowerPoint, of course, today is Sunday and it is a family day. So I will start my talk with a Bible verse to spark engineers. Okay, so from Genesis chapter 1, verse 1 to 31, and I quote, "In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. And the earth was without form and void, and darkness was over the face of the deep. And the Spirit of God was hovering over the face of the waters. And God said, 'Let there be light.' And there was light. And God saw that the light was good. And God separated the light from the darkness. And God called the light day, and the darkness he called night. And there was evening, and there was morning the first day." So, you know, electrical engineers, in fact, we, people of the world, are very, very blessed to have this electrical engineers kasi kayo po ang nagbibigay sa amin ng liwanag. So, let us, sa totoo lang po, imagine the world without light, 'di ba? Napakahirap. So, I thank God for giving me an electrical engineer. Ayan, palakpakan nyo naman ang mga sarili ninyo. Okay? All right. So, let us proceed to the good qualities of electrical engineers. Ayan, palakpakan sila talaga. Okay? So, of course, diba, alamin muna natin, ano ba yung good qualities of electrical engineers? So, based from my research, the personal qualities, okay, of an electrical engineer. The first one is to succeed as an electrical engineer, you need an analytical mindset and must and physics. Okay. So further, you should be detail oriented. Okay. You should be detail oriented, systematic, and highly computer literate, of course. And of course, you must be good in communication skills, and logical problem solving abilities are also essential in this field. Okay. Additionally, you must have a keen interest in science and technology, work well as part of a team, and have the ability to find imaginative and creative solutions to the problems, okay? To all the problems that you deal every day. So in everything, okay, in everything, no, that you do, kailangan magaling ako sa bawat skill, sa bawat aspects. That's why it was mentioned a while ago by Engineer De Guzman, soft skill. Yes, it is a soft skill. Kasi di ba pag mga technical skills, parang ito yung mga kailangan ninyo. However, to become a very good electrical engineer, kailangan magaling ka rin sa communication skills. Okay? And of course, skills and knowledge. Okay? As an electrical engineer, you must complete all the necessary educational and professional training. Okay? Additionally, many employers require electrical engineers to demonstrate effective interpersonal and management skills, as these engineers generally work with teams on specific projects. And very important yung marunong tayo sa spoken and written skills, because these are also must. Okay? So as this career will require you to communicate findings, okay? Then present recommendation and discuss issues. All right. Let me just check if the link is already okay na ba? Okay. Is the presentation there? Yeah, sorry, because I'm just using my cell phone, no? All right. So in short, as an electrical engineer, okay, aside from you are very good in technical skills, make sure that you are also good in communication skills. It should be a total package, okay? So next one, let's talk about communication. What is communication? So when we talk about communication, it is the transferring of information to produce greater understanding. And of course, when we say, yes, we will give you the PowerPoint presentation later, okay? So of course, sabihin na natin, review lang tayo, ano? Sa communication, there should be a speaker and a receiver of the message, right? So, tandaan nyo po yan, communication, transferring of information to produce greater understanding. So, in communication, this can be done vocally, okay? It can be done vocally through verbal exchanges, okay? And then through written media like the books, the websites, and the magazines, okay? And then another one, communication is also, this can be done visually. So by the use of graphs, then charts and maps, or non-verbally using the body language, okay, your gestures, the pitch and of course, the tone of your voice. That's why we can easily identify if our boss, okay, is mad at us, is angry with us, okay, by the pitch and the tone of his or her voice, okay? So we've discussed, during your college time, I know that your English teacher, English 101, discussed this to you, but this talk is just a sort of a review and a parang refresher course lang po sa inyo. Okay? All of this means of communication skills are essential soft skills that are vital for a successful career. That's why if you want to become successful, at least, okay, to become successful, you need to be good. Hindi ko naman po sinabing excellent, di ba? Hindi ko din sinabing very good. Good, okay, in soft skills. All right. So there we have here the pointers to improve your ability to effectively communicate with others. Okay? The first one, naalala niyo po ba na in English we have 4 macro skills but now it's 5 already. Okay? The first one is listening. Okay, sa macro skills, di ba? Listening. Of course, as a good communicator, you must learn how to listen. And that is what you are all doing now. The 35 participants are listening right now. But remember, hearing and listening are different, di ba? So kapag hearing, pasok lang dyan, labas dyan. But when you listen attentively, you digest the message, and of course, you understood the message, and of course, aside from understanding the message, you were able to give your feedback to the one who is talking to you. Okay? So yeah, very, very, very important ang listening. Then we proceed, of course, to speaking. So when we speak from your heart, okay, then when you speak, you have to mean it. And of course, aside from the listening and speaking, you also, or we also must learn how to read, and of course, write. Yan ang topic natin. Okay? So the pointer, so to become a good communicator, it is important to be a good listener. Okay? It is important to practice active listening. That's why you have to pay close attention to what others are saying and clarify ambiguities by rephrasing their questions for greater understanding. That's why if you uh, do not understand what you have listened to the speaker, then of course, you can ask question. Maski sa mga meetings ninyo, di po ba? Pwede naman kayong magtanong kasi libre lang naman ang magtanong. Huwag mahihiyang magtanong. All right? So, another pointer to improve your ability to effectively communicate is being concise. Okay? What is conciseness means? This is to convey your message, okay? To convey your message in as few words as possible. Do not use filler words and get straight to the point. You have to get straight to the point. Huwag nang magpaligoy-ligoy pa, di ba? And of course, rambling will cause the listener to tune out or be unsure of what you are talking about. So avoid speaking excessively and do not use words that may confuse the audience. All right? Um, Kaya nga dapat simple words lang. Okay? Simple words. Mahalaga is maintindihan po ng inyong mga kausap. And very important is the body language. If we are just doing face-to-face, you can see me doing my body language. When I talk, I usually use my hands, okay, to convey my message. And that is very important also to practice good body language. You use eye-to-eye contact when you are talking to, or when you are having a meeting, right? When you talk to them, you establish eye-to-eye contact. But of course, this is very different. Di ba? Kapag virtual, minsan syempre may binabasa ka, but then make sure that you also look. So another and communicating with others. Okay, just as simple as, 'di ba? Kapag nagsasabi lang tayo ng I love you, di ba? Hindi mo naman sasabihin na I love you, di ba? As simple as when you say it, okay, you mean it, and make sure that the tone of your voice is correct, is properly, it is proper, di ba? So, a relaxed body stance with a friendly tone will aid in making you look approachable to others. Actually, isang tip lang, no? Kapag kayo po ay nagtutalk, for instance, and you are in a large crowd or in an audience, okay, just be yourself. And if in case you feel butterflies inside your stomach, you inhale, exhale, and just be yourself. Okay? So, kailangan relax ka lang. Paano yung mga kamay ko if nanginginig, Ma'am Weng? Alright. So, if that is the case, kapag nandun po kayo face to face, kapag virtual, walang problema, di po ba? Just speak. Tapos control. You can control your hands. Okay? However, if that is face to face, syempre, control, iganyan ninyo. Or another one is if you have your own pocket, di ba? Ipasok nyo lang muna pero wag magalaw yung pocket. Wag magalaw yung hands ninyo sa pocket ninyo. Alright? Another one is eye contact is important in communication. So you look to the person, of course, in the eye to indicate that you are focused on the conversation. But make sure to not stare at the person. Baka naman you're staring at the person intensely. Okay, that can make him or her uncomfortable. You know, if you are nervous, for instance, of looking at the eyes, just look at the forehead. Kasi pag nakita, no, you're looking at the forehead of the person whom you are talking to, then parang nakatingin ka na rin naman sa kanyang mata. Pero hindi mo tinitignan yung mata niya, tinitignan mo yung forehead kapag ikaw ay ayaw mong makipagtitigan. Kasi minsan, we cannot control ourselves. Kasi masyadong maraming kape na iniinom yata minsan. Kaya kayo po ay may nervyos, di ba? So all right, another point, okay, for the improvement is confidence. Yes, Sir Justado, good example, word spoken, ma'am. Yes, I love you, sabi niya. All right, so confidence. Be confident in what you say and in your communication interactions with others. You know, one way to practice your confidence is to look in front of a mirror and talk to yourself, but make sure na walang nakatingin sa inyo. Baka naman iba yung interpretasyon kapag kayo ay you went to the lavatory, you went to the comfort room and practice yourself, di ba? So you can do that. You can do it, no? At home when you're alone, or if may kasama ka, sabihin mo ang rason, saglit lang po ha. I'll just face in front of the mirror and talk to myself. And when you talk to yourself, you inform yourself that you are the best speaker. You can do it, you can do it. Diba? Ganon. So being confident can be as easy as maintaining eye contact, maintaining a relaxed body stance, and talking with concision. Okay? And try not to make statements sound like questions and avoid trying to sound aggressive. Okay, don't be so aggressive. So you mean it. Okay, yung kapag nagsalita ka is full of confidence, even when you stand, even when you speak. Okay, but you know you are confident if you know what you are talking about. Kasi mahirap yung feeling confidence ka pero yung utak mo wala naman palang, hindi mo naman pala ni-review yung plano nyo, yung project ninyo. So that's why it's very important also to review, okay? To review the lesson or sa amin ano as teachers, to review our lesson for that day, for that week. However, in your case, you're going to review. Okay, the first one is the minutes of the meeting, that yung mga previous meeting ninyo, ano ba yung napag-usapan? Kailangan maalala ko yon. Ano ba yung special task na ipinapagawa sa akin, di ba? So that you can review, okay, so that you can study what were the tasks given to you during your previous meeting. Another one is when you are presenting your project, di ba? Kapag nag-present ka ng project mo, abay, review din, so that you will feel confidence, right? Because hindi ka magiging confident if you do not know what you are talking about. So when you say it, sabi ko nga, when you report, when you write it, kailangan alam mo yung sinusulat mo at alam mo yung sinasabi mo para maging confident ka. Okay? Then another pointers to improve your ability is to be respectful. Okay? So respecting what others have to say and acknowledging them is an important aspect of communication. I know that you know everything, okay? Alam mo na. Pero during meeting, during your presentation, don't pretend that you know everything, or do not talk to yourself or sabihin mo sa sarili mo na, ay, kayang-kaya ko to. Alam na alam ko to, okay? Na parang kapag may nagsalita na iba, hindi mo na nire-respeto kasi alam mo na yan. Sisiw lang yan sa akin. So, you learn to listen, okay? And then if you know something about that particular project, that particular statement, then you wait for the speaker, okay, to finish his or her statement before you give your reaction or your feedback. So being respectful can be as simple as paying attention to what they have to say, using the person's name and not being distracted, okay? Like for example, if you are in a meeting or if you are presenting something, no, in an audience, maganda po siguro kapag may nagsasalita in front of you to listen to the speaker, to listen to her or to listen to him. There is always time, okay, for you to read your messages. You try to imagine in a meeting, kinakausap kayo, then you are looking at your cell phone, you are texting and you are reading the messages. No, mamaya na lang yan, di ba? Kapag nasa meeting po kayo. Okay, that is one way to show that you respect others. So by respecting others, the other person will feel appreciated. Okay, they will feel appreciated, then which will lead to a more honest and productive conversation. Because once you have the turn already to say something, to speak, then that person, okay, those persons na nirespeto mo, ay rerespetuhin ka din. Okay, they will also listen to you. And they will feel interested about what you are talking about. Okay. Another pointer is using the correct medium. So there are several different forms of communication to use. It is important to choose the right one. So for example, communicating in person about serious matters like layoff, salary changes, and etc. So in an office situation, it is more appropriate than sending an email regarding this matter. Siguro excuses na lang natin nung during kasagsagan pa ng pandemic, di ba? Dahil wala ngang face-to-face interaction. But now, instead of sending an email regarding the layoff na ito ay as the boss, you will remove na, okay, ayaw na natin sa empleyado na to, i-lay off nyo na, then better if that is a face-to-face interaction. And communication, talking to that person is very important. All right. Another one is, why is communication important? Okay, bakit nga ba importante? Tandaan po natin ha, ang communication, it can be speaking, it can be writing, verbal or non-verbal, diba? So, communication is important skills because, okay, ito ina-allow yung iba, okay, to allow others and yourself to understand information more accurately and quickly. So in contrast, poor communication skills lead to frequent misunderstandings and frustration. So pag-usapan po natin yan later on how you are going to present your technical engineering report. Okay? Another is, why is communication important? So having strong communication skills aids in all aspects of life, okay? So from professional life to personal life and everything that falls in between. So from a business standpoint, all transactions results from communication. Good communication skills are essential to allow others and yourself to understand information more accurately and quickly. Okay, I just remember, okay, my students, well presented yung kanilang dissertation, okay, yung kanilang manuscript. Ang ganda ng pagkagawa, ang ganda ng PowerPoint presentation. However, maganda yung written, pero nung present na, okay, yung kanyang manuscript, wala na kasi hindi niya na kayang i-present orally dahil naunahan na po ng nervyos. Kaya wag ganon, okay? Kailangan i-compose yourself, okay? And kung ano man yung isinulat mo, kailangan pag-aralan mo nang sa ganon masabi mo pa siya ng you can say it correctly. Okay, you can present it correctly. Okay, so why communication skills are important to engineers? According to research po ito, according to Mark J. Raymer from the UNESCO's International Center for Engineering Education, there is, and I quote, okay, there is ample evidence that graduate engineers lack the required standard of communication skills, particularly when compared to the needs of the industry internationally. So communication skills are a regular feature of an engineer's job in industry. Okay, so some graduates employed in industry have identified that education in communication skills need to be improved given the demands encountered in industry. So my question is, do you agree with Mark Raymer? Yes or no? Well, if you say yes, okay, then it's time for you to practice your communication skills because practice makes perfect. Pero pag sinabi mo naman, hindi naman totoo yung sinasabi niya kasi magaling naman talaga ang mga engineer sa communication skills. Then, if that is your belief, then ipakita mo na kaya mo. Pero, wag maging close-minded na hindi ka na makikinig sa mga speakers, hindi ka na mag-aaral. Di ba? Sabi nga nila, continuing professional development. All right. So, what type of communication is best for engineers? Both written and verbal communication skills are of the utmost importance in business, especially in engineering. Sabi nga nila, di ba, individual differences. There are some, not specifically engineers po, there are some even teachers. They're very good in written, but not so good in speaking. Okay? Others naman, they're very good in speaking, but not so good in written form. However, okay, tandaan natin na this written and verbal communication skills are very, very important. So why not? Okay, know thyself, know yourself. If you are good, then that's your best practice. You share it. Then if you are not good, if you have these weaknesses, okay, I'm not so good in written, I'm not so good in verbal communication. Acceptance is the key. Then after accepting it, then you study, then you practice. All right? So, another one is that, okay, 'di ba? That's very important. Paano ba gumawa ng letter? Ano ba yung gagawin? So, ang dami, no? Ang dami pong mga kailangan. So, take note that there are types of writing styles. Ayan na. The first one is the technical writing. And yan ang magiging topic natin for today. However, there are some types like creative writing, persuasive writing. Pag sinabing creative, ito yung mga poems, di ba? Ito yung mga essay. Yan, creative eh. Pag sinabing persuasive, you persuade people to buy your product. Ayan, persuasive writing. Then we also have expository, objective, poetic, objective, subjective, and other notable types of writing. But this morning, okay, dear electrical engineers, just focus on the technical writing. Okay, so let's now move on. What is the meaning of technical writing? Okay, so technical writing is best for educational texts and professional documentation. And this is all about writing on a special point that is factual and logical or about a scientific purpose. It is precise in nature, using facts and figures that are objective and non emotive, okay, in nature, and only aim to inform the reader. So your aim, okay, if you are writing, if you are doing technical writing, your aim is to inform, no emotions. Okay, I'm happy to inform you. Hindi, go direct to the point. Okay, and also visualize it for the reader. You have to visualize it. That's why, you know, in technical writing, dapat may mga figures, dapat may mga charts, di ba? Dapat may mga tables so that you can illustrate, you can visualize, okay, your report to the reader. So what are the characteristics of technical writing? So the first one is it's very direct. So sabi nga kanina, direct to the point. Okay, wag ka nang magpaligoy-ligoy-ligoy pa. So straightforward and clear, and it has a solid structure, and it is very informative and detailed. The principles of technical writing. The first one is maya, to visit the 8 parts of speech, di ba? Naalala nyo, nouns, pronouns, di ba? Verbs, adjectives, adverbs, conjunctions, prepositions, interjection. Kailangan, yung napag-aralan natin when we were still in college, okay, in English 101, i-apply natin dito ngayon sa paggawa ng technical writing. Okay, do you agree with me? Agree po? Are you still with me? Yes? All right. Thank you so much for your thumbs up. Okay? Nakakaano yan, nakaka-motivate din sa mga speaker. Okay? So, principles of technical writing, aside from using of good grammar, we have to write concisely. You use the active voice. Okay, I'll explain that later. And then you're going to use the positive statements. Avoid long sentences. Kaya nga direct to the point eh. Avoid long sentences, di ba? And of course, punctuate correctly. Ayan na yung mga punctuation marks. Alam ko, nung mga elementary tayo, magkakaedad lang naman po tayo, di ba? Sa punctuation mark, sabi ni teachers natin, elementary pa lang napag-aralan na namin yan sa English eh, di ba? Kasi sabi ni teacher, write an essay. The mechanics of writing are the following, di ba? Punctuation marks. Nako, lagi yan napag-uusapan si point or si period, di ba? Kapag sinabing point, hinga ka muna. Period. Relax ka muna. Di ba? If you want to ask question, ayan, punctuation mark, ayan yung question mark. But in technical writing, it's a no to use the interjection. Alam niyo yung exclamatory point. Kasi nga, kapag technical writing, parang sabihin are, o di ba? Or kapag ginamit kasi si is and are, that is in the present tense, in the simple tense, simple present tense of the verb. Okay? Ginagawa po siya kasalukuyan o ngayon. Okay? So another example, okay? Meron ako dito kailangan malaman ninyo yung basic subject-verb agreement. Sige, sabihin ko na lang. Ganito po siya, no? If the subject is singular, you are going to use, okay, the S form of the verb. So for very simple, no? Mr. Pedro. Okay, Mr. Pedro, is it read or reads the manuscript? Sabi, if the subject is singular, singular lang naman si Mr. Pedro, mag-isa lang naman siya, di ba? So read or reads, what's the answer? So sabi, for the rule, you have to take the S form of the verb. Very good, Sir Jasper and Sir Amado. Reads siya. Don't be confused of the nouns. Kasi di ba sa nouns, if there is an S, it is plural. However, in verbs, in subject-verb agreement, always take the S form of the verb. Okay, kaya reads ang tamang sagot because the subject is singular. However, if the subject is plural, okay? If the subject is plural, you are going to use the base form or what we call the simple form of the verb. Okay, alam na po ninyo yan. Okay, let's proceed to the pronouns, indefinite pronouns. Next slide. A list of indefinite pronouns that are always singular is listed below. So these are example of indefinite pronouns. Okay, each, either, everybody, everyone, neither, one, anyone, anybody, someone, somebody, no one, nobody. So these are indefinite, singular, indefinite pronouns. Kapag singular yan, di per se, kailangan singular din na verb ang gagamitin nyo. Okay? Then, of course, sabi dito, next slide, you must decide if the subject is, okay, either or lever. So if you selected either as the subject and is as the verb, you made the correct choice. There is an example there. Where is the sentence? There. Okay. So slide 25, please. So either of the levers is clearly marked. Yan, nasa 25 na tayo. Then either of the levers are clearly marked. What's the difference between these two? Okay, take note. Is and are. Okay? Kasi nga, you have to decide if the subject is either or levers in the sentences, okay, that is provided a while ago. So if you've selected either as the subject, of course, okay, ang verb na gagamitin mo ay is. And of course, you made the correct choice. All right? Then, the following indefinite pronouns are always plural. Kapag plural po siya, itong mga indefinite pronouns na to, kailangan you're going to use the plural form of the verb. So, examples, both, few, many, and several. But just to keep your life interesting, the following pronouns can be, ito, pwede siyang maging singular or plural, just like all, more, most, none, and some. But make sure to analyze first, okay, the sentence. Alam nyo, parang piano yan, no? Kapag nakikinig kayo, nagpa-piano, parang, oops, intonado, yung verb ko parang mali, yung grammar ko parang mali. So, kailangan i-revisit ninyo yung tinuro ng mga teachers ninyo natin, ano? Nung tayo ay mga English teachers natin. Okay? Nung tayo ay elementary, nung tayo ay nasa high school at nung nasa college. So you may wonder how some pronouns can be both singular and plural. So let's review the following examples. So some of the information is inaccurate, okay? And some of the figures are inaccurate. Okay? So, kasi nga 'di ba, sabi ko kanina, yung word na some, okay? Yung word na some can be used as singular or plural. So that is word, yung information, bakit is? Kasi information is singular. However, in the second sentence, some of the figures, nalaman na natin, figures with S. So that is plural. So the verb that you're going to use, the linking verb that you're going to use is are. Okay, simple as that. Kailangan basa-basa din po. Magbasa-basa din tayo, lalo na yung mga sentences na susulat natin. Tama kaya ito? Pero if in case, hindi naman masamang magtanong, di ba? Kung halimbawang magtanong sa mga experts or consult also your in the internet, di ba? May mga English lessons na rin po na nakalagay sa internet. Okay? Then another is edit wordy phrases. So these are unnecessary words and phrases that has obscure meaning. So you have to make every word count in technical documents. Sige nga, let's have a short type muna, no? Encode your answer. Exercise muna po tayo. So one of the best ways is to look for multi-word phrases that can be replaced by one or two words. So let us try replacing the multi-word phrases below with a word or two. Paunahan. Siguro naman ang mga taga TCPDC may mga pang prizes 'yan. Okay. So instead of, sabi ni Sir Manny dito, syempre meron daw. So instead of a large number of, because that is too wordy, let's write it concisely. What is the word, single word or two words? Ang galing naman ni Sir Anthony Lopez. Many, okay, a large number of. Instead of using a large number of, then why not? Okay, let's just use the word many. Correct. Okay? Prior to that time, may nakita na po ako kanina nagsagot, and that is before. Very good. No, hindi ko nabasa yung unang nagsabi, pero si Sir John Albert, si Ma'am, sino ba yon? Ang bilis mo alis yung mga names. Yes, the answer is before. Okay? So instead of prior to that time, you can use prior to the time, you can use before. All right? Another one is in the process of tabulating. Ayan. So you can just use, yan, tingnan natin, punta ako sa chat para ma-mention naman yung mga may tamang sagot. Okay, Sir Anthony, very good. By tabulating, yes, that's correct. Demonstrating, di ba? Ang dami, 4-5 words, pero pwede siyang palitan, di ba? Pwede siyang palitan ng single word. That's the meaning. Upon recording, exhibits the ability. Yes. Okay, very good. Ang gagaling po ninyo. So, tama na. Tapos na po tayo, no? Tapos na yung talk. Kasi lahat ang gagaling po ninyo. So, write concisely. Go straight to the point. Yes. So, another one is, how would you streamline the sentence below? So, there is a sentence. Nakikita niyo po ba? So to obtain maximum performance from your computer, you should endeavor to follow the maintenance program furnished in the manual accompanying your computer. So how are you going to shorten it or to streamline that sentence? Sige, pwede po kayong mag-chat. To streamline that sentence. To obtain maximum performance from your computer, comma, you should endeavor to follow the maintenance program furnished in the manual accompanying your computer. Do you have the answer now? Okay. Tignan natin. Chat. Wala pa pong sagot? Sige. Sabihin na natin ang tamang sagot. Okay. The answer, did you show it? Number 33 slide. For proper operation, read the manual. Very good, Sir Anthony Lopez. Okay? So, or this can be the answer also. To enhance your computer's performance, follow the manual's maintenance program. The best performance, sabi ni Sir Jasper, of your computer, please follow the maintenance manual. Exactly, okay? So, in short, take note that you have to keep your average sentence between at least 10 to 20 words. Okay? O kung mas mababa pa sa 10, edi mas maganda. Na kayang-kaya mong sabihin concisely. Okay, very good. My best in English na ba tayo? Okay. Use simple words rather than complex ones. Okay? So as we noted in the preceding section, if you purchase additional printer options such as a second printer tray, it is a requirement you verify its correct installation. Napaka-complex ng mga words na ginamit, di po ba? So instead of using complex words, sasabi ko nga kanina, keep it, yun na nga, no? Ito yung term, K-I-S-S, KISS, di ba? Keep it short and simple, okay? Remember this term, KISS. So kiss your loved one, sabihin nyo, keep it short and simple lang. Huwag nang gumamit ng complex words. Simple words lang. Okay. So example there, instead of using the sentence under the complex words, so simple words here, as we noted in the previous section, if you bought extra printer equipment such as a second printer tray, you must check that you installed it correctly. Just want to remind you also that the word equipment, okay, do not put S, okay, for the word equipment. Wala pong term na equipments. Maski yan ay plural, still equipment siya. Kasi there are some technical writings, no? Doon yung mga technical report ng mga students, lalo na sa nasa general education subject sila. Nakalagay doon equipments. Kasi nga they're referring daw to plural, di ba? Maraming equipments. Ganyan. Pero make sure that the word equipment, no S. Okay, now let's move on. Using the active voice. Ito po, still that is, we have two voices of verbs, di ba? Tandaan po natin yun. Ang verbs, action words also, where, di ba? Verbs. At saka sa passive voice, ito yung mga tinig o yung boses ng mga verbs o ng tinatawag natin na pandiwa in Filipino. Okay? What about using the active voice? So imperative sentences or command sentences are written in the active voice. Okay, take note of that. When you command, when you request, okay, di ba ang imperative sentences, ito yung go out, write your sentences, write your report. You are commanding. So this, ang tawag po dito ay imperative sentence, no? Imperative sentences or command sentences are written in the active voice. It is always written in the active voice. So the active voice is more natural to people when they speak. But technical writers often turn to the passive voice when writing technical documents. So one of the main reasons you should use the active voice rather than the passive in technical writing is the active voice more easily or more closely resembles rather the way people remember the process information. Okay? So for example here, active voice means that the subject of the sentence is the doer of the action, the one doing the action. For example, I threw the ball. That is an active voice. Okay, the verb is used in the active voice because, okay, the subject there is the doer of the action. What is the subject? It's I, diba? So I threw, that is the verb, diba? Pero sino ang nag-threw ng ball? Si I, ako, diba? So the subject of the sentence is doing the action. Okay? Okay, the using of was and where. Okay, sige, sasagutin ko lang po ano. Maganda yan. Pag ginamit ang was and where, kasi may mga tenses of the verbs po yon. Kapag tenses of verbs, yung is and are, gamit po yan, sir, sa simple present tense. Yung present tense, yung ginagawa ngayon or habitual action, di ba? Pero pag tapos na po, tapos na, finish na, that is past tense. So in the simple past tense, ginagamit po natin ang was at saka where. You use was to replace is. You use where to replace are. But these actions are done already. So past tense po siya. Like for example, yan mamaya matatouch po natin yan. Kasi ang verbs, sana no, hindi lang isang araw, hindi lang kalahating araw to. Okay? So, ang verbs po kasi, tandaan nyo, very important among the parts of speech because you cannot formulate a sentence without a verb. Okay? No sentences kapag another try. So the word recite. What is the past tense of the word recite? Recited. And take note, it ends with E. The word, ang spelling po, recited. Recited is letter C, not S. Okay? Recited. Nag-recite. Okay? Sa C po yung spelling nun. R-E-C-I-T-E-D. Yes. So ito yung rule dyan. Kailan ko naman idadagdag si D at ED? As simple as, okay, if the word ends with E, okay, like the word recite, you just add D. There's no need to add ED, madodouble na yung E, di ba? So just add D if the word or if the verb, okay, if the regular verb ends with E. So just add D. If hindi naman siya nag-end if the regular verb doesn't end with E, of course, you need to add ED. Alright? Naintindihan? Regular verb pa lang tayo. Nawala na ako sa active voice pero this is very important. Yes, thank you so much for your thumbs up. I only see 3 thumbs up. How about the 259? Ayan, perfect. Okay, now, let's move on to the irregular verb. Thank you, Sir Emmanuel. Okay, how about the irregular verb? Ito namang irregular verb ito na yung tinatanong nyo po, ma'am, sir, na kailan gagamitin si is, si was, si are, at saka si were. Okay? This po ay example, masculine verb or helping verb po si is and si was, si is, si was, si are, and si were. Example po sila ng irregular verb. Irregular sila kasi when you form the past tense, okay, you will not add D or ED. You are going to, number 1, change the spelling of the word, okay, or stay as is, okay, yung word na hindi ka na mag-a-add ng D or ED. Basta pag ganon at ginawa mo siyang past tense, ang tawag doon ay irregular verb. Okay, for example, give me the answer. Okay, mamaya, yan ha, Sir Chammer. Kapag present namin yung technical report namin, kailan? Okay, mabibigay ko din po sa inyo yung sagot. Very interactive, ano? Mas maganda yung ganito kasi may questions kayo, mas masasagot. Very good, no? Ang present tense niya ay read, R-E-A-D, di ba? However, the past tense of that irregular verb read is read. But you are not going to change the spelling, though the pronunciation is red, color red, di ba? Pero hindi siya R-E-D, ha, mga sir and ma'am. It should be R-E-A-D pa rin. Read, however, the pronunciation is red. That is an example. Okay, give me, yes, hit. Very good. Another one is how about think. What is the past tense of the word think? Think, hindi po. Think po. Very good, Sir Joseph. Okay, yan. Laging nagkakamali, ano? Kasi si think, thought. So tama yung spelling, T-H-O-U-G-H-T, thought. I thought that I shall never see, di ba? Thought. How about teach? Yan, tama na si Sir kanina na nagsabi. Yung teach naman, I taught. It's different, no? The spelling is different, entirely different. So it's T-A-U-G-H-T. But the pronunciation of that is taught. Diba? I taught. Yesterday, I taught. Diba? But when you say think, it's I thought. So you have to pronounce the letter H. T-H, I thought, and I taught. I thought and I taught. Oh, galing. How about write? You write. What is the past tense of write? Wrote. Very good. Ang galing, ano? Wrote. Paano naman? Bakit may word na written? Bakit may written? Ma'am, ang gulo naman ng English, no? Write, wrote, and written. What about the word written? Written naman is an example of the past participle. Exactly. Roque, Roa. Di ba? Galing. Sige, okay na po muna tayo dyan. Pero gusto kong sagutin, yung sinasabi ni Sir kanina, yung tanong niya, kailan po ba gagamitin yung present tense at saka yung past tense at saka future tense, di ba? Lalo na in technical writing. Okay? So take note that in our case, okay? So sa graduate school, if magde-defend ka ng thesis mo, 'di ba? Magde-defend ka ng technical writing report. In our case, because we have three parts po yan sa amin as teachers. Meron kami yung title defense, and then meron kami yung proposal defense where you're going to present chapters 1, 2, and 3, right? And then another one is your final defense, meaning to say you're going to present your whole manuscript, including your chapters 4 and 5. Ma'am, kailan gagamitin yung past tense at future tense? Take note, okay? Okay, Luis De Suyo, I will answer that later. Okay? Kailan gagamitin, ma'am? Kapag nag-present po ako ng technical report ko, okay? So, kapag proposal pa lang po yan, tatandaan po ninyo na gagamit po kayo ng future tense. Proposal pa lang. Kasi ipopropose nyo pa lang yung gagawin ninyong technical writing, yung gagawin ninyong research, o yung gagawin ninyong manuscript. So take note that if you will proposing, okay, a project, a report, magpo-propose ka pa lang, take note to use, okay, the future tense of the verb. I will, blah, blah, blah. I shall, I must, di ba? Yung mga future tense of the verb. Pero, pag natapos ka na po ng iyong report, okay, for example, in our case, chapters 1, 2, 3, okay, tapos na ako nag-conduct na rin ako ng questionnaire sa aking paggawa ng research. Tapos ka na, 'di ba? So sa chapters 1, okay? Chapters 1 papalitan mo na, chapter 2, chapter 3, magpapalit ka na po ng past tense kasi tapos ka na. Magpa-final proposal ka na, di tapos mo na yung iyong report, 'di ba? So gagamit ka na po ng past tense. Okay? So, ganun lang po siya. Use past tense if you are done with your report, okay? Except in your recommendation. Diba? Kapag nag-recommend ka po kasi, kailangan future tense yun. I recommend that I will discuss this to the local government unit, etc., etc. Okay? Pag nag-recommend ka, future na po yun. Pag nag-final na po kayo, past tense na po. Pag nag-recommend ka, future po yung gagamitin. Okay? Pero pag present mo yung technical report mo, tapos ka na sa undergone ng study mo, then use past tense. Okay? May question kanina, interesting din yun. I wrote and I written. Okay? So, I wrote, tapos na, di ba? So, may mga rules yan sa past participle. I have written, tapos ka na, past participle, I have written, pero ginagawa mo pa rin ngayon. I have written the manuals, okay, the student manuals, since last year, ginagawa mo pa rin hanggang ngayon, di ba? So, depende po yan sa paggamit, pag-construct ng sentence. I write, tandaan nyo when your subject is the personal pronoun I, okay, it should be followed by I am, di ba? I am if you're pertaining to yourself. Pero pag sinabi nyo I write, use the base form of the verb. Hindi pwedeng I loves you, di ba? I hates you, di ba? It's wrong. It should be, even though the subject pronoun I is singular, you're only referring to yourself, but there's always an exemption to the rule, di ba? So the personal pronoun I, which is singular, okay, dapat ang kasunod po niya na verb na gagamitin nyo ay base form. Hindi siya S form. Okay? It should be base form. Ay, hindi ko nakita. Doon lang po, yung sa objective, doon po sa introductory part, kailangan, di ba? My statement of the problem sought, so sought na yung gagamitin, di ba? tapos ka na kasi, doon lang sa introductory. Pero doon sa mga statement, SOP, statement of the problem mo po, ay hindi na po siya magagalaw. As is po siya. Okay, pero sa introductory part lang po. For example, ang daming example niyan, ano, bibigyan ko kayo, pwede ko bang, kasi nandito pa lang po tayo sa 39, okay? Bigyan ko po kayo ng ano, no, ng kopya nito, ibigay ko kay Sir Manny para ibigay niya po sa technical staff. Ang haba po nun, okay? Regarding statement of the problem, okay? So, basta sa introductory part lang po. Tsaka kung mangailangan po kayo, no, if in case, don't hesitate na mag-consult lang po sa editing ng inyong mga thesis, ng mga manuscript ninyo. Okay, so next, shall I continue? What person point of view should we use po in creating a report? When you are reporting, are you referring po doon sa PEE na, yung paggawa nyo na po ng technical engineering report? Hindi ko nabasa yon. Okay, saglit lang ha. What person point of view should we use po in creating a report? Kapag gumawa po, yung point of view, kapag gumawa ka po noon, kailangan may basis ka, 'di ba? Kapag gumawa ka po ng inyong technical report, technical engineering report for instance, ano, may basis ka po. Kasi research po yan. Tandaan nyo, kapag gumagawa ka po ng technical engineering report, nagre-research po kayo. Kaya, kailangan po, hindi lang po sa inyong idea yon. May pinanggalingan po yon, no, na study. Kaya nga, research yan po, mamaya maidi-discuss ko. So, pag sinabing research, when you are researching, kaya yung word na again, di po ba? Kasi research means to search again, coming yung research from the other person, di ba? From the other researches. So, ganun po yun. Yung point of view po ng person, basta may reference po yun, di ba? May pinanggalingan po yun, at kailangan i-reference po ninyo yun. Yan po ang i-discuss natin mamaya, no, sa second speaker. Yung tinatawag natin na na ginagamit ninyo, at sa amin din, we also use the American Psychological Association, yung APA na sinasabi. Tuturuan po kayo later kung paano mag-reference. Pero tatandaan ninyo, kapag gumawa kayo ng technical engineering report, make sure po na ito ay may basis. Okay? Na may pinanggalingan sa other study, sa mga tao, okay? Yung mga tao na dapat sila yung mas nakakaalam nung study mo. Okay? So, ganun po. So, mag-discuss muna kasi limited po yung time natin para po yung mga questions po ninyo, i-entertain ko pa, i-take note ko po siya. Okay? Questions related to APA. Sige, okay po yan. So, palagay sa Q&A yung questions nyo. Yes, pakilagay na lang po sa question sa Q&A para if in case na hindi man namin masagot, pwede po later dahil sa time po. No, I think we have until 12 noon only today. Okay? And then, siguro yung susunod, if in case I'll still be invited, siguro ang susunod na nito is how to present your thesis na. Kasi di ba, importante, marunong ka na magsulat, paano mo siya i-present? So yun na yung next na topic siguro. If in case you will still want me to talk about it, okay? Please let me continue and then proceed to the Q&A later. Okay? So, we have write in plain English. Okay, just write in plain English. Ano ba yung plain English na yan? So you have to control sentence length. Sabi ko nga, direct to the point. Then use active verbs. But you have to cut down an unnecessary jargon. Yes, tuloy-tuloy po muna presentation. Thank you, Sir Amado. Okay, and make your writing specific and tight. Okay, again, write in plain English. Okay, another one is using the original text. So from any page of a site, links can be found which point to other pages in the same site or to the other sites, wherever they may be. Specifically, these links are addresses which are called URLs. However, what is interesting for the visitor is not the address itself, but what can be found there, right? Ano ba yung makukuha ko dito? It's not the address. And so generally, the address is not displayed, okay? Instead, what you find there is highlighted in the text. So by underlining it and displaying it in another color, and sometimes it is used as of blue ang ginagamit, no? Then another one, you omit page 42 of the slide, omit needless words. Okay, so the following italicized words are examples of needless words. Examples definitely proved. Orange in color. Alam mo na nga na color orange siya eh. Ba't dagdagan mo pa ng in color, di ba? Worst case maximum possible error. Wow. And because of the fact that, okay, do not impress, no? Do not impress your readers or your audience. Just go directly to the point and omit needless words. Okay? And of course, you have to use positive statements. So instead of using negative, for example, page 43, using positive statements, none of these integers were non-negative. No? Instead, all of these integers were positive. Diba? Parang ganun lang din ang ibig sabihin, pero dun sa isa, napaka-negative, ano? Ang sinasabi. Kaya nga po, isa rin sa mga kailangan na maging attitude natin if we are making our technical report, always be positive. Positive. Kaya ko to, di ba? Kaya minsan nagiging negative yung statement mo kasi nga sometimes you are negative thinkers. Kaya kailangan maging positive thinkers tayo. Always use the positive side. Always use the positive statement. Okay? So technical writers should word instructions as positive statements. So whenever possible, phrase commands in a positive manner. So let's try to compare the following. Ito, negative siya. Do not close the valve. So instead, leave the valve open. Yan ang sa positive no na statement. So avoiding long sentences. So in short, sentences are easier to understand. Short sentences are easier to understand than long sentences. Agree, di ba? So parang kapag nakikipag-usap ka sabihin mo na lang diretso, wag nang paligoy-ligoy pa. So parang ganun lang yon. So for this reason, it is best to write your technical documents in short sentences. If you are asking your readers to perform several actions, begin to step with an active verb. Then this highlights the action itself and let us compare the following sentences. So example of a sentence, for multiple steps within the sentence. For 40 applications, create an empty workspace, populate it with application source code, and compile the workplace. So example of a sentence with multiple steps set apart. For 40 applications, perform the following steps. And then you use the colon, di ba? Colon. Okay? So first, of course, you have to create an empty workspace. The second one, populate. And the third one is compile so that it will be easier to understand. Okay? Yan yung pag-create lang ng lalo na kapag nasa PowerPoint presentation tayo, no? Kailangan yung importante lang po yung need na ilagay. Okay? So whenever possible, give numerical values in statements and avoid ambiguous words. So there's an example. Sabi niya, very small lang daw siya. No? The voltage across a forward bias silicon diode is small. So instead, the voltage across a forward based silicon diode is about 0.7. So very specific. Kasi pag sabi mo small, what is the specific measurement? Diba? Ano yun? But small. So mag-think pa kung sinabi mo nilagay mo na doon yung exact, okay, yung exact na measurement, then easier to understand. Then avoid dangling comparatives and superlatives. So the range of options in the comparison must be specified. Okay. Well, when we talk about two or more objects, diba, you compare it, you use comparative degree. But when you try to analyze, you compare three or more, you can use superlatives, diba? So for example, the voltage across the diode is smaller. However, you can you can compare it by giving another specific statement like the voltage across the diode is smaller than the voltage across resistor R1. Okay? So, mas understood. So tatandaan po natin itong sinasabi ko ngayon, wag nang pahirapan. Let's not make our life parang difficult, no? Kapag gumagawa kayo ng report, ng technical report, very simple siya pero dapat accurate yung report ninyo. Pagkatapos yung content is complete. And of course, ifa-follow natin yung correct grammar, yung mga correct spelling, correct punctuation marks, etc. Okay? So, we also have this example. If the values of x and y are compared, then x and y must have the same units. So, for example, in this design, R was chosen to be larger than C. So since R is a resistance and C is a capacitance, their dimensions are not the same and the sentence is rubbish. So watch out for phrases like 400 volts of AC current because current does not have units of volts. Okay, so for numbers between -1 and +1, insert a 0 to the left of the decimal point in order to avoid a naked decimal point. So for example, 0.47, diba? So that's it. Avoid improper addition of numbers. Okay, so for example, there are 4 pots of boiling water on the stove, and each pot with a temperature of 100 degrees Celsius. If one poured all of the water into one container, then the water would not have a temperature of 400 degrees Celsius, right? Of water, but only 100 degrees Celsius. Take note that temperature is not additive. So in general, single-digit numbers like 0 through 9 are spelled out, okay? While numbers of 2 or more digits like the 10th and the 20th century use figures. Okay, and another one, when a number is at the beginning of a sentence, it is always spelled out. Take note of that. If a number, okay, is at the beginning of a sentence, always spelled out. There should always be one blank space between a number and a unit. Okay? So, for example, ayan, mga example, there should be no space between the metric, prefix, and the base unit. You understand? Okay, so let's proceed. Avoid jargon. What is the meaning of jargon? Jargon is a special words or expressions that are used by a particular profession or group and are difficult for others to understand. Like for example, in our case, di ba? As a teacher, we use our lesson plan. We use our syllabus or syllabi when we are teaching because that serves as our Bible in teaching. And of course, electrical engineers do not use lesson plan, but you use a specific word, okay, a special word that your profession only understood. Can you give me an example? Can you please chat your example of a special word or expressions that you used in your profession? Meron ba? Chat. Harmonics, electrical code, design, wow. Okay, you see, hindi ko na siya maintindihan ngayon. Kayo na lang po ang nakakaintindi niyan. Okay, so yan. That's why, okay, impedance. Wow, Sir Daryl, ano pa? Energized. Ay, yung word na energized, may energizer kami. Kapag kami ay nabuboring na students, we use energized. Kayo din, to energize. Kaya lang other meaning po yun, sir? So, ayan. So, we should avoid that expression para naman maintindihan ng ano ba yung KVAR? KVAR. Ayan, sige, ang gagaling. Gagaling ng mga jargon. Okay? So, next one, using standard punctuation, page 54. Okay? So, use standard punctuation. readers expect standard punctuation. What's the standard punctuation that we are talking about? So when they read your documents, okay, complicated or creative punctuation will confuse them. Alam niyo nakaka-confuse ano, pero sa face kapag you are messaging, nagme-message ka, you send your message tapos may mga tatlo pang exclamatory point, 'di ba? Parang ano kayang ibig sabihin nito, nagagalit pa siya sa akin? O kaya question mark na tatlo o apat o lima, 'di ba? Pag gumagawa po kayo ng report ninyo, technical writing report sa research nyo, bawal po 'yun, ano? So, punctuation will confuse them. So, one suggestion is to select syntax that minimizes the need for punctuation. You may wish to divide compound or complex sentences into shorter sentences to avoid excessive or confusing punctuation. Okay, so one example of this is deciding where to place your comma, your periods, your colons, and of course your semicolons when using quotation marks, right? So commas and periods always go inside the closing quotation mark. Lagi po siyang inside the quotation marks. Okay, for example, 56, we are struggling young artists. Take note of that, di ba? Open and close quotation, struggling young artists. The comma must be placed, okay, must be placed before the closing, okay, before the closing quotation mark. It shouldn't be after, it should be before, okay, the closing quotation mark. Okay, so but we hope to become successful. The same also with the use of a dot or a period. So example, most corporations adopt the belief comma, okay? Then the customer is always right, okay? The customer is always right. So the end mark period must be placed before the closing quotation mark. Okay, that's it. However, okay, or on the other hand, the semicolons and colons are always placed outside the quotation marks. Take note of that. Kung si period at comma, it should be inside the quotation mark. Ito namang si semicolons and colons must be placed outside the quotation marks. Okay, these are the examples. So these actors can deliver open box office hits. Okay, then the closing, then the colon. All right, Tom Cruise, Tom Hanks, and Johnny Depp. And look in the manual under quotation marks, text messaging, and the semicolon, okay, must be placed after the closing quotation mark. Then the directions are very clear. Okay, and take note that a colon is a type of punctuation mark that is used to separate two independent clauses within a sentence. When we talk about independent clauses, okay, these are two sentences joined by a colon, di ba? It can stand alone pag sinabing independent clauses. There is a thought already, and that can be considered as a sentence combined together. So two sentences combined together, okay? Ito yung para ma-separate siya, use colon. Okay, so a colon is used to give emphasis, present dialogue, introduce list or text. So, and clarify composition titles. So, for example, no, ito, capitalize emphasis, no? Capitalize the first word after the colon only if it is a proper noun or the start of a complete sentence. If it's a proper noun, ano ba yung proper noun, di ba? Ang proper noun, di ba, ang nouns kasi can be classified into different, they have different types or different kinds of nouns. Pero ano lang tayo sa common and proper. When we say proper noun, it is the specific name of a noun, specific name of a person, place, things, and events, and etc. Okay? So in this case, she had one love, colon, why it is that Western Michigan University is capitalized. It's because that is an example of a name of a school, right? And that is an example of a proper noun. Okay. So here's the correct punctuation. A comma Okay, a comma for a personal letter. If you are using or if you are writing a personal letter, you just use comma. Okay, a colon for business letter, and of course either punctuation mark in an email. So you can say you can use a comma and a colon if you are uh, writing an email. Okay. However, if that is a personal letter, just use comma and a colon for a business letter. Okay. And then we also have, okay, there. So ito yung internal communication, no? Okay na po yan kasi magpo-focus po tayo doon sa technical writing. So okay na rin yan si memorandum. Okay, saglit lang po ah. Doon na tayo sa last part, page 66, Gerald, kasi ito yung ating focus, technical reports. Okay, so let's proceed now to this topic about technical reports. So having strong communication skills aids in all aspects of life, from professional life to personal life and everything that falls in between. So from a business standpoint, may quiz po ba ito, ma'am? Sige po, meron. Meron five items. Sige, five items quiz tayo later, ha? So from a business standpoint, all transactions result from communication. Actually, this slide was presented, no, kanina. Ini-emphasize ko lang po na kailangan talaga ng good communication skills. This is very essential to allow others and yourself to understand information more accurately. And of course, let's proceed to the most interesting part, the parts of a technical reports. So first we have the transmittal letter, then the title page, okay, the abstract, and then the executive summary, the table of contents, the list of figures and list of tables, your report body or the body of the report, and of course your references, wherein later on you will be taught how to use APA, and of course appendices. Okay? So I'll be presenting my other slide kasi second topic po tayo. Okay, I request now, Gerald, to please, let's proceed to the next topic. Okay, gagamitin ko naman yung isa kong laptop. This is okay na. So, there you have it because kasi po ang dati no yung dati po na topic regarding technical writing, regarding internal communication, okay, regarding how to use visual presentations. But now, the organizer requested a new topic, no? It is about American Psychological Association. I'll just give you the background of this. Nakapresent there. Okay. So I also invited resource speaker, okay, another resource speaker to talk about this APA. Just allow me, no, especially for those who will be applying for PEE, tama ba? Meron na po ba tayo? Yeah. Sige nga, mag-thumbs. How do we treat to quote and unquote with puncture? You know, it's different. Pag nag-read ka po, emphasize it. Kapag read lang ha, iba kasi yung writing sa reading, right? If you read yung mga quoted, okay? So kailangan just read only po. Yes, read only. Sabihin nyo, and I quote. But you have to, kapag galing po ito sa ibang author, okay? For example, galing siya sa isang writer, you have to quote, okay, the name. You have to place it in your PowerPoint presentation. Kapag kayo po ay mag-tutok, ano? Kailangan, okay, kung emphasize it on, okay, or just read it. just read plainly. Okay? Basahin nyo lang. Basta i-reference nyo lang po siya. Okay? So, dito sa topic na to, next slide, please. This is, ito, importante to sa mga Okay? Alam nyo, maski sa akin about technical engineering report, to kasi ito yung inyong ito yung ni-request po ninyo eh. Siguro ito, however, may mga mag-apply, 'di ba, para maging professional electrical engineer. So ito naman ay tips lang po, no, taken from the website of the PRC, okay? And also I think may keynote din po kami dito, yung galing po sa IIEE din, just to refresh you. And mga other important lessons, no? Simple lessons lang. Kasi po ang napakakapal po ng libro na ito, no? Yung APA na to. Napakakapal po ng book kasi may book po ito, may mga latest APA books din. Pero yung ibibigay lang po namin sa inyo ay mga simple tips lang po. Okay? And then if in case you still want to invite us, sabi ko nga, siguro ang susunod na is how to speak confidently, 'di ba? Kasi puro technical writing ang gusto nyo. Pero, kailangan din po kasi ninyo kung how to present it, 'di ba? Dapat confidently. Kaya, ito na siya. So, tips on how to prepare a technical report or technical engineering report para sa mga mag-PPEE. Thesis naman sa mga nag-masters, okay? Naka-enroll sa graduate school. And of course, the dissertation paper. Okay? Sa mga naka-enroll naman sa PhD. Okay, so let's proceed. Next slide, please. Okay, so next slide. Words written in capital letter. Ang ibig kong sabihin nun ay emphasis. Okay, very nice. So, ito, let's proceed. Yes, pero yung pong next speaker ang magdi-discuss about APA, no? So, remember that a goal without a plan is just a wish. Yan, quotation muna para ma-motivate. No? This is my second topic. A goal without timeline is just a dream. Okay? Bakit kaya sinasabi, no, na dapat may timeline yung dream mo? Okay? Para naman kapag nakaset ka, okay, ng timeline, meron kang iniisip na kailangan yung deadline na to, kailangan yung timeline ko, nandun na ako, matapos na ako, okay? Matapos na ako, maging doktor na ako. Sa amin, I can be a master teacher or a PhD, doktor na. Sa inyo naman, kailangan professional electrical engineer. So that's why, make sure, next slide, make sure to plan ahead and set your timeline, okay? Ang timeline ko ganito, dapat after a year, di ba? Matapos ko na yung thesis ko. Matapos, maipasa ko na siya sa PRC. After another year, eto na. So mag-set po kayo, magplano kayo, then the same time, you set your timeline. Okay? Because according to Thomas Jefferson, next slide, if you want something you've never had, you must be willing to do something you've never done. Kaya nga, mahirap, di ba? Napakahirap naman gumawa ng thesis. Ang hirap gumawa ng technical report, di ba? But, if you are willing to do it, na hindi mo pa nagagawa, kakayanin mo yan. Basta nandun yung positive Thomas Jefferson. And of course, we must have a goal, di ba? Ano or smarter, okay? Pag sinabing SMART, okay, that is the acronym that stands for specific, meaningful and measurable, dapat yung goal ko specific. Okay? Dapat ito siya. Wala nang, hindi siya general specific. Gusto ko maging doktor ako. Diba? Just like me, I finished two doctorate program. Kasi yun ang specific, sinabi ko sa utak ko na dapat ito ako, gusto ko maging ganito ako. So, dapat specific yung inyong goal, di ba? Then, letter M stands for meaningful and measurable. Kailangan ma-measure nyo siya. It should be meaningful. Bakit meaningful? Kasi para sa sarili mo yan, yung objective na yon, yung goal na yon. Or para sa family mo yun. Okay? So it should be achievable and attainable. Huwag kang mag-goal, walang goal na hindi mo siya ma-achieve. Kailangan achievable and attainable. Kaya nga, di ba, sabi nila may timeline. Kasi yung sinet mo na time na yon, kailangan ma-achieve mo yung goal na yan. Okay? And then it should be relevant and it should be time. Making your thesis, if you are making your dissertation, or if you are making your technical engineering report, sisimula. Naku, mag-apply na ako. Then start it and finish it, di ba? Another one, step 2 is write a vision. So you write a vision. What is my vision after 3 years? So ito na yung vision ko. And make sure that you motivate yourself. Okay? Hindi pwede na mahirap ito. Diba? Kapag mahirap to, yun ang thinking mo at sinabi mo sa sarili mo na kaya talagang hindi mo kakayanin yan. Kaya dapat make sure that you motivate yourself. Okay? And then after motivating yourself, you specify, these are the things that I need to do. Step 1, step 2, step 3. Mamaya ipapakita natin yung mga different steps. Paano ba mag-apply sa PRC? And of course, step 5 is to make an action plan. The plan, okay, tandaan, yung plan na walang action is useless. Kaya dapat kapag nagplano ka, with action. Okay? And set a deadline. Number 6, Gerald. Step 6 is set a deadline. You post your plan. Okay, maganda din, naka-post yung plan mo, ano? Para nakikita mo, uy, natapos ko na pa to. Oh, hindi ko pa pala ito natapos. Then, step 8 is to speak up. Okay, you speak up. You ask the expert, okay, to help you. Diba? Kailangan ko ng tulong. Kaya nga, diba, ito sa inyong technical report kapag gumagawa kayo, 'di ba meron po kayong mga mentoring, 'di ba? So speak up if you need help. Kaya nga kayo may organization para kayo ay makipag-connect at makipag-collaborate with each other, okay? Then step 9 is to monitor your progress. Oops, and don't forget, kapag kayo ay tapos na, no, you reward yourself, okay? So first, learn, sabi nga, the meaning of what you say and then speak. Ito po ay after ninyong magsulat, learn the meaning of what you say and then speak. Tatandaan po natin yon. So in PEE, okay, ito po yung qualifications for registration as professional electrical engineer. So if-flash ko lang po siya kasi just want to, ipakita ko sa inyo yung mga yon, like number 1, citizen of the Philippines, of good reputation with high moral values, di ba? Has not been finally convicted by the court of an offense involving moral turpitude, holder, of course, of the degree of Bachelor of Science in Electrical Engineering from a university, and this must be recognized and accredited by the Philippine government. Yan, a registered electrical engineer. Hindi ko na po babasahin yung mga ano ha, ifa-flash ko lang po ito, with 4 years or more of active practice daw from the date of his registration as registered electrical engineer. Okay, so those are the, ito yung mga needs ninyo na malaman. Ano naman yung requirements, di ba? Yung requirements for registration as PEE, of course, we have the Form 101, yan, PRC Form 203, the proof of Philippine citizenship, certificate of your birth certificate, and then your marriage contract, NBI clearance. Ang dami palang mga requirements, no? That one, number 7, certificate of experience, and ayan na, nilagay ko, bold na siya, at saka big letter. Number 8 is your technical report, okay? Or it can be called as thesis or dissertation paper. And of course, may number 9 pa dyan, di ba? At saka may brief description of the most significant and outstanding achievement, etc. Ang focus ko lang po dito kung bakit ipinakita ko yung mga requirements ay para makita niyo yaan ang kailangan ninyong gawin at isubmit, of course, sa PRC. At yan ang reason kung bakit po tayo nandito ngayon. Diba? So let's now move to the elements of the technical report. Okay? What are the elements? Okay? The first one is your title page. Then the letter of transmittal. Okay? Then the preface, the table of contents, the list of tables, charts, drawings, etc. And then the summary, of course, the body text, the conclusions and recommendations, the bibliography, the references, wherein yung matututunan po ninyo ngayon sa next speaker, kung paano i-reference, okay, using APA. Okay? And of course, yung mga affidavit of sole authorship of your mga mentors, right? PEE 1, PEE 2, PEE 3, so tatlo. And most especially, para makilala kayo, of course, is your curriculum vitae with your ID picture. So yun ang mga elements of technical report. So let's proceed. What is technical report? It is a document that describes the progress, okay? The process, the progress, or the results of technical or scientific research. So it might also include recommendations and conclusions of the research. Alam niyo po, sa amin, sa graduate school, because I'm teaching also in the graduate school, ang pinaka maganda, no, the very one of the most important part of the technical report or of the research or manuscript of a researcher, of course, is the findings, di ba? Because through the findings of your research, you as the researcher can give your conclusions as well as the recommendations. And these recommendations will help, okay? Will help po yung sa study ninyo para mas lalo siyang magiging maayos, mas magiging maganda, di ba? Kaya ka nagre-recommend na kasi sa findings mo, nakita mo na, oops, may kulang dito. So, ang recommendation ko ganito. And of course, kailangan magamit po ito. Yung output na gagamitin, okay, the output of your study is very, very important also. Okay, then next one, it is an explanation about a thesis or dissertation, but in your case, okay, you just call it technical engineering report. That's why it's called TER, di po ba? However, there are some of you who are studying in the graduate school and in MA, of course, you will prepare a thesis, right? And if you are enrolled in PhD, okay, you will make, okay, kasi part of the requirements is to make a dissertation. Okay? So these two, of course, ay mga document na isinasubmit to support of a candidature of an academic degree or professional qualification presenting the author's research and findings. Right? So in short, when we talk about next slide, when we talk about research, sabi ko nga kanina, it means search again, di ba? Kasi nga, the prefix re means again, okay? So to search again. So there will be basis of your study. May basihan ang iyong study coming from the researchers, okay, coming from the researches of the previous researchers, of the previous na gumawa ng technical report. Kaya, 'di ba, galing siya sa isang research. Kaya kailangan po natin na ilagay kung saan ninyo kinuha, okay, yung basis ng inyong ni-research. Kaya very important na malaman ninyo kung ano ang APA, kung paano mag-cite. Okay? So again, research, in very simple definition, it means to search again. Okay. So research is also defined as the creation of new knowledge. That's why, di ba? Take note of the new knowledge. Okay? Kaya dapat as researchers, kailangan maging creative thinkers po tayo. We should all be creative kasi hindi ka magiging walang new knowledge if you are not creative, di ba? So another one sabi dito, the creation of new knowledge and or the use of existing knowledge in a new and creative way so as to generate new concepts. Okay? So methodologies and understandings. And this could include the synthesis and analysis of previous research to the extent that it leads to new creative outcomes. That's why, okay, kailangan ang research na gagawin natin ay bago. Bago na magagamit ngayon at sa susunod na araw. Okay? So for the future use also. All right. Another, take note that the best technical engineering report is only useful for someone who can present it successfully, right? Who can present it in written form. Okay? Written, dapat tama yung sinusulat mo. Tama ito. Tama yung nakopya ko at na-cite ko. Okay? Kung saan siya galing. And also, it is well presented. Ibig sabihin, kapag nakaschedule na po kayo, okay, na magpo-proposal defense na kayo, kailangan show your best. Okay? Show your best, and then make sure that you review it. Diba? You review your report. You know what you are talking about. Hindi yung pag tinanong po kayo, doon pa lang po kayo magre-review. Doon nyo pa lang i-check, ay, sandali lang po. No! You make sure that you are confident. And ang pagiging confident ng isang researcher o isang nagpo-propose, okay, ng kanyang technical engineering report is to know your topic. Do not assume. Alam nyo ang mga panel members, FYI, alam po namin, like for me, no, in my case, I know if the thesis or the dissertation of my students are just copy-pasted. I also know if nagpe-pretend lang siya na alam niya ang sinasabi niya. At alam ko din kung hindi niya talaga alam. Pero alam ko din if, okay, alam niya yung kanyang sinasabi. That's why, bago kayo isalang, wow, the term is isalang, bago kayo pumunta, okay, at na-schedule na kayo, kausapin niyo sarili niyo, at make sure na alam ninyo, nabasa ninyo, kasi make sure if you were the one who made your technical report, mas kibalik-balik ta rin ang mga questions, maski mag-tumbling-tumbling sila to ask you questions, you will know how to answer their questions. Okay? And of course, number one, for sure, yung susunod na question is talk something about yourself. Tell something about yourself, right? Because you need to sell yourself. Do not say, I do not know my report, right? Well, kapag nagsalita kayo, dapat alam nyo kung sino kayo. Kaya nga sinasabi ko sa inyo kanina, you know yourself, know thyself, di ba? Alamin mo kung ano yung special service, di ba? Ano yung pinakamagaling ako, kasi yun ang pwede kong sabihin sa mga panelists, sa mga members of the panel na magtatanong po sa inyo regarding your technical engineering report. Okay? So, all what matters in the professional area in doing business or politics is strongly influenced by personal contact, by the spoken word, okay? No matter how well it is prepared in written. Okay, required po ba na English ang presentation? Of course, it is required, okay? Take note, if the question for you is in Filipino, you can answer them in Filipino. But if the question is in English form, make sure to answer them in English. Okay? Hindi pwede na, ma'am, is research paper is a thesis? Yes, it is. It is a thesis. Okay? Make sure that kapag kayo ay nag-present, okay, dapat, sabi ko nga, alam po ninyo yung sinasabi ninyo. Kaya nga, ang alam ko dyan, ang unang tanong, in my case, no, proposal defense, I want to know, sabi ko sa mga students ko, kilalanin muna natin kung sino sila, di ba? Tell something about yourself. Yun pa lang, big impact na yun eh, di ba? Well, you inform them your positive side. Di ba, sabi ko nga kasi kanina, instead na using the negative statement, use the positive statement. Okay? So, make sure also that you speak from your heart. You speak from your heart at yung sinasabi mo lang ay pawang katotohanan lamang. Okay? So, no matter, sabi nga dito, no, is strongly influenced by personal contact, by the spoken word, and no matter how well it is prepared in written form, very organized in written form kasi lahat ng mga tips nabasa ninyo, nakinig kayo, may mga mentors po kayo na nagbigay sa inyo ng techniques, okay, paano magsulat noon, mga in written form. Pero on how you say, on how you report it, sayang naman yung prepare nyo kung hindi kayo ready sa pag-present it, di ba? Kaya dapat ready kayo sa written form at ready rin po kayo on how to present it, okay, orally. Okay, next one. Sabi nga dito, it does not matter how good you had made the presentation, but if you give a poor explanation of the presentation, you risk not only making a bad first impression, but also losing important, valuable, and other opportunities. Kaya nga, kung kaya natin gawin ngayon, do it now, di ba? If you will present it, bakit kailangan mo pang maging o manervyos, 'di ba? Kailangan present it now, do it now. Sabi nga 'di ba na anything that I can do, I will do it now today for there will be no more tomorrow. 'Di ba? Parang ganun lang siya. Yun ang dapat ilagay niyo sa utak po ninyo. Okay. So sabi nga, therefore if you want to pass and to be successful, you better present your technical engineering report excellently. Hindi siya good, better, hindi siya i-present mo lang ng just, basta-basta, di ba? You presented excellently. Make yourself excellent when you present it so that you will be successful. Okay? So, according to Nico's is, in order to succeed, we must first believe that we can. this morning. So believe that you can do it. You believe that you can make your technical engineering report. And of course, with the help of the other experts if you do not know what to do. All right. So do's and don'ts in preparing the technical engineering report. Okay, the first one, the technical report shall involve substantial calculations. Okay, it is purely narrative report. Okay, purely narrative report is not rather acceptable, and then you avoid unnecessary and irrelevant data, okay, including figures, the charts, the tables, not referred to the discussions, and avoid plagiarism. Okay, you avoid plagiarism if you know how to cite. Okay, if you know how to cite, where did you get that study, that information, right? So to avoid this, okay, you will listen later, okay, on how to cite using APA. Okay, and for number less than 10, spell it out unless they are measurements and units, if any, and must be specified. Okay, galing po ito sa IIEE, no? So, itong aking reference guide na ito ay coming from IIEE. So maybe you can also visit your website and check it. So next number is use a consistent format for units, specify the units when necessary, and be aware of the correct abbreviation. Okay? Be aware of the correct abbreviation. Baka mali yung nasulat. Strictly comply with the prescribed format of the technical engineering report outlined as laid out in Rule 14 of the IRR of Republic Act 7920. Okay, and then the PEE affidavit shall specify expiry date of your PRC license card of the affiance, and then attach the latest picture in the comprehensive biodata. So of course, you wear your coat and tie, and then taken not more than 6 months from the date of filing of the application. And of course, make the numbers of pages of the technical report the least possible. Then the technical report shall be printed on size A4 substance 24 with 90 GSM white bond paper. Okay, however, may konting ano lang po tayo, no? Kasi sa APA, small yung ginagamit. But of course, you are going to use A4 substance because that is the rule, okay, in your profession. Sa profession po ninyo, sub 8 A4 po ang ginagamit. Tapos may recommended na GSM, di ba? Pero kasi sa amin, when we follow the APA format, short po ang ginagamit namin. Okay? Then of course, mahina ang audio. Mahina na po ba ang audio ko? Okay? Then proofread your work. Nothing looks less professional than a document filled with spelling errors. Yes. Then missing words, yung mga different articles. Okay, the sentence fragments. Yeah, then the missing figures. And of course, yung wrong grammar. Dito lang naman sa wrong grammar, follow the subject and the verb agreement. Okay? Napakadami pong rules nun. Yung sinabi ko po sa inyo, very basic lang po. Diba? And of course, I think you need to submit 5 sets of your technical report within 6 months from the approval. Okay. Now, we also have the next part is the examinee shall also submit a single file PDF copy or scanned copy in PDF format in a single file, okay? So of the complete technical report, including the attachments such as the graphs, the tables, and then the diagrams, and etc. Saved in 3 USB, okay? Flash disk, not a CD or a DVD. Then the PE applicant shall wear formal attire, preferably coat and tie during the oral examinations. Okay? And then bring calculator and the latest edition of your PEC during the oral examinations. And of course, you have to follow the format of the cover page of your technical engineering report, including the front cover of the hardbound of your final report. All right. So just to give you a background of what APA is, okay? What is the APA style? APA style, that hindi po yan. Yan, okay? So the APA style, take note that this formatting style developed in 1929 by the American Psychological Association, or the APA. And that is why it is called APA, right? Kasi na-develop po ito noong 1929 ng American Psychological Association, which is most widely used in writing academic papers in different fields, especially in the social sciences. So in our field, so sa teacher education, we also use APA. But there are different types of citations also that other professionals are using. So focus po tayo sa APA style today. So what the organizations do? So APA, or the American Psychological Association, is the leading scientific and professional organization representing psychology in the United States. Okay? Ito po alam po, kasing dami din ng IIEE members ito. So with more than 115,700 researchers, educators, clinicians, consultants, and students as its members. Okay, so promoting research in psychology, the improvement of research methods and conditions, and the application of research findings. And for the improvement also, sabi niya, improving the qualifications and usefulness of psychologists by establishing high standards of ethics, okay, conduct, education, and achievement. All right. So in the manuscript, the parts of a manuscript, and also the other related topic about APA, okay, will be discussed by our next speaker. Okay. However, I just want to show you muna. Okay. Sir Almighty Tabuena, are you there?
Yes po,
Sir
Doc.
Almighty, are you there?
Yes po.
Yes, ma'am. Okay. I invited a resource speaker, also a CPACE member, a member of the Center for Professional Advancement and Continuing Education, okay, Training Services. So siya po ay magdi-discuss sa inyo, and I know that the organizer will be, he will be introduced to you, okay, formally introduced to you after this talk, okay, after my talk. And all questions po, okay, na nasa Q&A ngayon, I will answer it habang si Sir Almighty ay magdi-discuss about the American Psychological Association. Okay, so with that, thank you so much. And I hope that you will invite us again. You will invite CPACE again to give another talk about how to present your technical report.